What's up, guys? Mike here, aka the UK Urban Prepper, and I'm here today to talk to you about a subject that is kind of a prep, but it's also not. It's just generally day to day. And we're talking, of course, about our mental health. We've discussed it several times on the channel and with the Fireside crew in a group, and it's always good to keep that message going out there. Mental health awareness is a big thing for me. I've suffered through really bad mental health, and I've been completely isolated alone through that period. And if I can achieve anything on this spinning rock before I shuffle off my mortal coil, it's to help anyone else I possibly can through them same sort of struggles. So if I touch or reach out to one person, then at least that's something. So key thing with mental health is, of course, understanding it. So understanding what mental health is. And it's not just a diagnosis, it's not just anxiety, PTSD, schizophrenia, things like that. It's not just a medical term. It can be a feeling. It can be a way you're perceiving things. It can be your general social well-being. And of course, that affects how people are in day-to-day life in every situation. Not only that, as preppers, we have to think about that in a more drastic situation. If your mental health is in a bad place now, while we're in peace times, albeit cost of living through the roof and it's an absolute nightmare in this country at the moment, that aside, in a Teotihuacan situation, your brain, your body, everything is going to be under a lot more stress. So helping yourself now is going to be a lot better than trying to help yourself in a future where that help's not there. And let's always remember that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. I do think that they are both linked. Obviously, if you're feeling physically bad, you feel mentally bad as well, and vice versa. When I've been at my peak of my physical fitness, it was also the best time mentally for me. Now, there's lots of misconceptions about different mental health conditions purely through a lack of experience. And it brings me back to that old adage that a lot of people may hear of: man up, oh, you're just feeling a bit down. Oh, it's just because of this. And people just assume because they can't put themselves in that same state of mind. Also, often people that are suffering with mental health, like when I was, others didn't know. Behind closed doors, I was suffering. Out in the public world, I had a smile on my face. I always had a good thing to say. So there's lots of misconceptions about what you're looking at when you're looking at somebody with mental health problems. And it's not always a bad thing or a dangerous thing or things like that, but it should be something we talk about, something we try and address if we can. And people may blame society and the upbringing and things like that and the new generations coming through for this, but it is more prevalent now. In our society in general, we see it more. We see everything more because of social media, of course, but we're seeing much more open mental health issues across the board. Doesn't matter whether you're a 20-odd-year-old man or a 60-odd-year-old woman or single or in a relationship. It's really irrelevant. It affects all walks of life. It doesn't know class. It doesn't know race. It can affect everybody. But remember, don't take a diagnosis and then that's it. Stamp the label on it and walk away, because that's often what our medical system wants to do to us. Label us, tick us into a benefits box, and that is you now. That is you for the rest of your life. There's ways to recovery. There's ways to manage your condition. And these are all very, very possible with the right support. And the support is out there. I'll try and link a couple of the key support places, especially if you're feeling very on the edge, below. But just do some Googling and do some YouTube research on the actual condition you have, even if it's undiagnosed. Like you're not diagnosed, but you think you might have ADHD, for example. And look at other people and what their coping mechanisms are. I'm not saying that will work for you exactly, but it'll give you a better idea of how you can start to manage your condition yourself. Depression is a massive one when it comes to mental health problems, and it's probably one of the biggest killers in the mental health kind of sector is depression. And we all know why. We don't have to get a YouTube strike to tell you why. But you need to be able to identify warning signs for that. Like I say, some people are just good actors. I was always the happy guy, irrelevant of how I was feeling on the inside. But mood changes, a lack of energy can be a massive one for depression. Not being able to sleep. You know, people just say, oh, yeah, it's okay, I've got insomnia, and just ignore it. And they need to look at the reasons why. Your body tells you there's an issue. Difficulty concentrating, feeling of hopelessness, all of this I went through. And withdrawing from activities. And yeah, I kind of had a helping hand being in lockdown when it happened to me. But yeah, I did become very withdrawn from a lot of things, even when people were having Zoom parties and having a drink on things like Zoom. I was made an excuse, or, you know, my internet was playing up or something like that. And it was just an excuse, just so I didn't have to see and deal with people and put on that happy persona. And the earlier you address things like this, the better. Don't just think, oh, yeah, it's fine, I'll snap out of it at some point. Yeah, I'll get better. Yeah, I'm not that bad. Yeah, I feel depressed, but not as bad as this guy that I know, so I'm okay. No, as soon as you're feeling it, as soon as you start to get them early signs, address it straight away. Find your solution straight away. Reach out and speak to somebody in the know, whether that's a friend, family, professional, complete stranger, or a priest if you go to confession. Anything like that. Reach out and speak to somebody about it. And that's probably my biggest, I want you to get that message across, the importance of seeking help. Therapy, counseling, psychiatric treatment, they all do sound a bit scary. And it took me 1.5 years to take that first step in having a phone appointment with a therapist when I was going through my worst period. And you know what? 30-minute conversation on a phone, sat in my car, and I felt so much better afterwards. I'm not saying it was magic and it was fixed, but what an instant relief I got getting that off my chest. And even though it was a professional, it was still a complete stranger, so it had no effect to me. It's not like, you know, I don't want to say anything to the lads because they might take the mick. It was somebody completely safe to speak to. So for somebody who's a complete skeptic on them things and would have never gone to them, take it from me, the difference is unreal. The same can be said for things like the different mental health hotlines. There's loads of them out there. Like I say, I will post a few links below. But some of these now are even text. So even if you've got the anxiety of getting on a phone and speaking to a stranger, a text message is nothing, right? So you can reach out to somebody. They've not just friends and family. You're not restricted to, I've got to be the tough guy, I've got to be the happy guy, I've got to be the funny guy. You can reach out to people that don't know you, that don't know that fake persona. And it's so easy to do now with technology and the amount of options we are given. Of course, after my 3 sessions of therapy, I kind of felt myself picking up. And I started to go down the self-care route and using different coping strategies. Now, again, don't take anything I say as this will work perfectly for you, because it's a very personal thing. What works for one person might not work for another, but there's no harm in trying it. People always talk to me about journaling and writing down my feelings and thoughts, and it just wasn't for me. It just didn't work for me. It really didn't. However, what did was motivational videos, motivational speakers, listening, not necessarily always taking in all the Kool-Aid and every message they were giving across, but just the general feeling of listening to stuff like that. It got to the point where when I was visiting the gym, I didn't have music blasting. I had a Tony Robbins track playing, discussing how I could do better in business. Or I had Arnold Schwarzenegger's latest book playing. Anything that you find that literally inspires you. If you find that moment when you're looking online, like I watched this video and it really did get me up and I was really motivated, but then you forgot that feeling not long after, just remember what triggered it, because you need to follow that rabbit hole all day long. Meditation was another one that was suggested to me. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the stay still. I am one of these people that if I find that I've got every Tuesday free, I'll have to fill that Tuesday with something. I need to be busy. I need to be doing something. And meditation just didn't work for me. It really didn't. But I do see the benefits because it's similar to like yoga, meditation, and the gym. It's giving your physical body to that mental problem as well. It's improving all of the above. And if you have faith, that could be a spiritual thing as well. Reach out to people of the same faith, people, you know, who you could feel comfortable talking to. When I was in lockdown, I was doing that Keto King UK channel, my fitness channel that I do as well. And just doing that was a form of therapy. Talking it out like I'm talking to you right now, just looking at a lens. When you first start doing this, you are looking at a lens. But when you've been doing it as long as I have now, you're looking at somebody else and you're looking at yourself. You're looking, you know, I'm pep talking myself. And that's what I found the content being a lot of on that channel. You can go back and see a period where I'm having a lot of mental health discussions on that channel. And it's not that, you know, I'm trying to preach something I don't know myself, but as I'm helping other people, it helped me. And it was a form of diary, I suppose. I don't like doing the writing thing, but just to be able to talk it out to a camera verbally out loud makes a difference. And that's the key. That verbally out loud for me was the key, because we could all sit there with the inner voice and we could talk all day long.
But that's never going to be as clear, and you're always going to have interruptions. Your own mind will interrupt you and your chain of thought will go completely off.
So getting it out loud verbally is the key for me, and that worked as a video diary almost. A lot of stuff I recorded at that time never saw YouTube, never saw the light of day. Sat on a hard drive somewhere, probably still is, but it was good to do it. We have a benefit as preppers in the UK, whether we realise it or not, for mental health, and that is our community. The community has been absolutely unreal. Not just here on the comments or in Facebook groups, there's loads of different communities when it comes to UK preppers, but our members also have a Discord group, and I've seen issues to do with mental health and solutions happening right in front of me in these groups and communities. So as a prepper, being a lone wolf can have its own mental toll. But in peace times especially, reach out and become part of these groups. Come along to a prepper meet like ours that we're setting up, and any future ones as well. And the West Midlands Survival Group, they have one. Wherever you are in the country, there'll be a meet not too far from here. So keep an eye out for them and go and speak to like-minded individuals. Not necessarily, if you don't want to get a group and you want to be a lone wolf in an SHTF situation, that's fine. But during peace times, take advantage of this. Not only is this going to help your mental health, it's going to help your mental well-being and your reasoning behind prepping, but it's also going to give you that social side that you might not get being a complete lone wolf in this industry. Not much more I can say on the mental health front. I'm not going to start listing medical terms and diagnoses and what they mean and things like that. All them details you can do your own research on. So it's pointless me sit here making an hour-long video spouting out conditions and how to deal with anxiety and different methods to deal with depression when it's stuff you can find out yourself. The key for me, the only takeaway you need is talk about it. Talk about it to friends, talk about it to family, to loved ones, um, to a complete stranger, to a professional. It does not matter. Talk to a camera lens if that's what you need to do. But talk about it, verbalize it. And that is the first step towards addressing the problem and the first step towards recovery. If you have absolutely nobody to reach out to, email me at ukurbanprepper@gmail.com, and I'm happy to speak to any one of you at any time and try and help you through whatever situation you're dealing with. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to hit like. If you're new to the channel, it's not all like this. It's a lot about prepping as well. So hit subscribe, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye.